All right. Well, how's everybody doing? Everybody have a good night? Let me see your robe. Stand up. Let me see. Look at this robe. Oh, man. Woo! Well, hello. My name's Guy Hutchinson. I am the co-host of Drunk on Disney. I'm the host of a YouTube channel called Pointless Nostalgia. I've written a handful of books, and today I want to talk to you about restaurants that have connections to professional wrestlers. I'm glad you showed up for this. This really feels like a 10:30 a.m. panel, so.
No more drunk on Disney on Friday nights.
What's that?
No more drunk on Disney on Friday nights.
You don't want, we need much more drunk on Disney on Friday
Friday
nights.
and Saturday.
Yeah. Well, Saturday, tonight they've got some other thing that's happening at night, so. But we're here. So in 1995, Pastamania opened at the Mall of America. It opened 3 months before the first Nitro took place. So if you're not a wrestling fan, but somehow you just want to know about Hulk Hogan's pasta restaurant, I'll explain it a little bit. WCW was the counter to WWE. They were a different wrestling organization. And Hulk Hogan, the biggest wrestling star in the world, had come over to WCW, and they were just about to launch this big TV show, which started a weekly TV war where two shows were competing with each other, and part of this was Hulk Hogan and a mouthful of marinara sauce. So it was a little stand in the mall. It was like in the food court. You could walk up, and they had Hulk Hogan up there sweating up on top of this like awning. I want you to pay attention to the awning. We'll talk about the awning a surprisingly long time amount of the panel, because the awning had a longer shelf life than Pastamania. We'll get to it. It's weird. Pastamania was closed down by the mid 1996, closed down. So it was not open very long, but here it is in the back of the food court. Again, the awning, I spent more time researching this awning than anything else, so we'll get to it. But talking about the restaurant, Johnny Caffarella was this guy. He was an announcer for Glow. If anybody ever saw Glow, not the new version, but the original version. And so he would be on there and be like, "Hey, I'm here with Hollywood, and Hollywood is going to take on Patriotic Patty tonight in Glow." And Glow was at, I think, the Riviera Hotel in Las Vegas. It was Sylvester Stallone's mother was one of the backers for it, and it was a fun show to watch. This guy, he was the son of a man who had been the head of marketing for General Mills. So he had a background, at least his family did, in marketing, and his father helped to create Olive Garden. So he wasn't the founder of it, but he helped to make it a big franchised company. So he had a dream. He was like, if Olive Garden's the bar, I'm doing Pastamania, which will raise the bar. Here's his business card. So this was at the Mall of America. We will talk a little bit more about this, but first I want to talk about other wrestling connections to food. Italian food and wrestling coincided a few years before that with this commercial on WWE television.
I got how to remind your parents that now Tuesday is Kids Night at Pizza Hut. Try serenading. Tuesday night. Kids Night. Tuesday night. Try the old codfish trick. Hire professional help.
Tuesday night, Kids Night. Psycho.
You can't miss Kids Night at Pizza Hut. You get 3 Nickelodeon magazines and free personal pan pizzas when your folks order their pizza. And if they still won't take you, call Ninja Duck. Pizza Hut. Make it great.
What a weird commercial. I want to just get to the part. I want to get to the part with demolition, just so you can see it when they're here at the door. Because
try the old codfish trick. Hire professional help.
all right, so two giant men with their face painted, wearing bondage gear, show up at the door with your children. I mean, all right. Here's the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan. We're talking about Pastamania. you might not know it, Hulk Hogan is Italian. His name is Terry Bollea. His background from his family is Italian and French. He was, when he was hired by the WWF, before it was the WWE, they had this mindset where every character would represent their nationality. So there was Ivan Putski, he was Polish power. You had Mr. Fuji, who would come to the ring and throw salt in people's eyes and do these, and dress like Charlie Chan. Like every character went by some ethnicity. And Hulk Hogan didn't look Italian, so they didn't want him to be Italian, so they thought about dyeing his hair red and make him an Irish guy. They were like, he'll be Hulk Hogan, you know, this Irish character. They ended up not dyeing his hair, and they went with him being a blonde Irish guy. But Hulk Hogan is Italian, has every right to make his own Pastamania. I'm going to show you a picture of Hulk Hogan with his mom and dad. I just want to point out, before I put this picture up, so we're at a convention where people wear a lot of ridiculous things, right? Still, this is what Hulk Hogan decided to wear for a night out with his mom and dad. I also want to point out, Hulk Hogan goes to dinner and he's got pill bottles all just lined up at the table. Like there's no, like look at that. He's just like, I'll have the marinara and I'll have 4 of these vitamin A and some protein powder. What's that?
Herbalife, that's probably.
Yeah, that's what I think he's got. Yeah, but I mean, it's just weird that I don't know. All right. Hulk Hogan had already been a pitchman for a lot of things. So lending his name and likeness to a pasta restaurant isn't that out of the ordinary. Now, the idea of having a celebrity back your restaurant is very common. If you go back to the 60s, Arthur Treacher was a very famous actor, and they made this chain, Arthur Treacher Fish and Chips. Roy Rogers was a famous Western star, and they had a chain of Roy Rogers restaurants that were named after him. And just like Hulk Hogan wasn't like sitting there going, well, how many tables should we have? You know, well, here's the recipe. He was just, just signed his name off on it. Actually, I went about 2 hours down to, what is the name of the town? Hartsville, South Carolina, to go to the Yogi Bear restaurant. Has anybody been to the Yogi Bear? My God, you guys don't know about the Yogi Bear restaurant?
I didn't know it existed.
Woo! So here's the thing. I was driving here. I only drove here instead of flying so that I could drive to the Yogi Bear restaurant because it was toured. So I did a 4-hour round trip to go there. You guys never thought about going? Never just... I mean, we should all get in the car now and go.
Sure.
Well,
Why not?
that restaurant started, they wanted Jackie Gleason. And they approached Jackie Gleason, and he was like, no, I'm not up for it. And so they were like, all right, we'll get Yogi Bear, who, Yogi Bear as a character was doing an impression of Art Carney on The Honeymooners. So they thought it was a good connection. But Hulk Hogan had pitched a lot of things. I've got him queued up here, no shirt, doing a commercial for Hitachi.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日
Wednesday,
立の細長
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサラ
The kid is like, what the heck is going on?
comes again.
綺麗な空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
All right. Yeah, it's the big flow. I don't know. He was holding it by his crotch. I don't know what it does.
Playing like a piano or something.
Yeah, it's the Hitachi Big Flow. I guess it'll keep your kid and your Hulkster cool during the summer months. Here is a Hulk Hogan product, the Hulkamania Deluxe Workout Set. I like that this is one that's in English and French, and they put Hulkamania as like Hulkamania. But like somebody in France would be like, I don't understand what this is. He said, I got Hulk Hogan, but I don't know what he's doing. So here's you could wear Hulk Hogan slippers if you wanted. You could smell like the Hulkster if you bought the Hulkster cologne and perfume set. If you wanted to rub Hulk Hogan gently on your gums every morning, you could get the Hulk Hogan battery operated toothbrush. It says, it's got 2 phrases, 2 soft bristles that are gentle, and he says, drop a leg on tooth decay and lay a sleeper hold on cavities, and much, much more. Here's one that I have. Now, I bought this, and I've opened it up and kind of goofed around with it, but I bought it just for the box art, and I have this. The box is huge, and I have it displayed in my house just because it's so great. The Hulk Hogan, he's playing against a kid who's wearing a helmet, by the way. I feel like this kid's got a lot going on. But Hulk Hogan's playing against him. Jake the Snake has fashioned a stick out of his snake. You can see the snake coils around his back. $1 Million Man has a gold stick. Hulk Hogan's actually using weights. He's so strong that he's got weights on the end of his stick. Sergeant Slaughter has a missile at the end of his stick. I just love this. So yeah, that's the Hulk Hogan shootout. But wait, there's more. Have you ever taken a photo with your camera or your phone and been like, this photo is good, but it needs some Hulk Hogan? What about if you had a camera that added Hulk Hogan to every photo? We're at the beach, but we're here with Hulk Hogan. All right. Here's the Hulk Hogan ice cream bar. So there was Hulk Hogan food. And this was a Hulk Hogan food that was successful. They've sort of tried to bring this back a few times, but they've kind of done it halfway every time. They brought it back as ice cream sandwiches not that long ago, and they sort of taste like it, but not as good. And I was like, why not? Why aren't you just doing the thing that everybody wants you to do? But these were great. These had a little card inside each one with a different superstar on them. And even the Mouth of the South, who is here this weekend, he's downstairs, he could lick these superstars. There were a lot of superstars. He'd be like, hey, Earthquake, can I lick you? And Earthquake would be like, no way. It's not happening, Jimmy Hart. But this is a superstar that he could lick, the ice cream bar. All right. Ed Strangler Lewis had a restaurant, his own cafe, back in 1938. So wrestlers have had restaurants going back decades. Hulk Hogan wasn't the first to do it. I want to introduce you guys to a guy who was very, very famous in the wrestling industry. This is him in the middle. He was an actor after he wrestled. His name was Mike Mazurki. He died in 1990. He was a famous professional wrestler, but he was probably more famous for appearing in a lot of films, always playing the thug or the heavy, and often would play a character that didn't have a lot of lines, would be like a strong man or a mafia type or whatever. Here's a picture of him on the left here, and this is my wife's grandparents. They've passed away, but I found this photo and I was like, how did I not know about this when they were alive and could tell me about it? And the gentleman next to them is Tiger Joe Marsh, and this is at Mike Mazurki's Barron Castle Buffet Restaurant, which was the home of the Cauliflower Alley Club. Today, the Cauliflower Alley Club does a big convention every year, but it started at Mike's restaurant. And you can see in the background, there's a bunch of pictures of wrestlers. It's an out of focus photo, but I found this photo and I was like, what the heck is going on? And I showed it to my mother-in-law, and she's like, I was like, who's the other guy? She's like, oh, that's a guy who was best friends with my father. He was a professional wrestler. And I was like, how did you not tell me this the day you met me? How is this not...
This is important.
Yeah, how do you not lead off with... So then she brought out photo albums. It's him sitting at their house having dinner and stuff. It's just weird. But he was in a lot of movies and TV shows too. He was... when Herman Munster boxed, in the episode where Herman Munster was a boxer, he was the referee for that. He also... appeared in The Cat from Outer Space, the Disney movie, so if you see that, he's in that. But he was not as famous as Mike Mazurki. But again, wrestling and restaurants go hand in hand. A number of years ago, I was doing a convention with Jerry Lawler, and I was in line to get soda, and Jerry Lawler was actually in line behind me. So I turned around and started chatting with him, and I was telling him about a restaurant that Jackie Fargo had owned, who was his trainer. He had owned a pizza place, and Jerry was like, well, do you know anything about slam burgers? And I was like, what's slam burgers? And Jerry starts thumbing through his phone. Jerry had he lent his name, and he talked to me about how he did it too. He's like, I didn't have anything to do with it. I would show up and, stand around, shake hands, sign pictures or whatever. They just would pay me to put my name on there and to show up at the restaurant. But how cool is this? Like, you could go to Jerry Lawler's Slam Burgers and Fried Chicken, King of Hamburgers, the King versus Funk. You could see that this coming Sunday. So I guess they could change the letters out. And there's Jerry down there just being like, yep, it's me. I'm number one. I love this. I love everything about this. I love that Jerry is an artist, and so he did like the artwork here, which is really cool. So this is from like the 1970s. Slam Burgers sadly has closed, but Jerry has had restaurants. I think he currently has one in Memphis. So Jerry's been involved in the wrestling game and the dining game, the wrestling dining combo game together. Here is... Sometimes I get on a roll and I just start saying words in a sequence that doesn't make sense. All right. Here is Kurt Angle selling us pizza back in 1997.
Wow, Kurt Angle. Keep it there. Thanks. Whoa, what's gotten in this pizza?
Whoa, what's happening with this pizza?
Hey, look. Big squirrel. Tomato rockets. Scoop him in an airplane.
Look at him pretending to see that. It's like CGI Pepper is just about to kill a tomato.
The taste that screams fresh. Oh man, that was beautiful.
Right? Pizza outlet.
Pizza outlet. It like sounds like they're like, we gather all the leftover pizza and sell it to you at a great discount.
This was between the Olympics and the WWE.
Yes, it is absolutely during that period. So 1992, the Mall of America opened. So this is where eventually we would have Pastamania. The Mall of America was the largest shopping mall. It still exists, but it is no longer the largest shopping mall. I think the King of Prussia Mall in Pennsylvania is now the largest. And they base the largest mall on total space, and they also base the largest mall on square footage of store space. And I think King of Prussia Mall is bigger, but King of Prussia Mall does not feel bigger. It's just kind of spread out. It's kind of different. Mall of America is a destination. Has anybody ever been there? I got to go there once. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's very huge. We have a thing kind of like it where I live in New Jersey, the American Dream Mall, which is where they have the Mr. Beast burger. But like this is the same kind of thing where it has an amusement park in there. It's like anything you can think of, they have it. They have a giant aquarium. It's like it's a tourist destination. If you've seen, somebody's phone is quacking. If you've seen, what's the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jingle All the Way. If you've seen Jingle All the Way, that's where he gets the ball with and the bounces out of where they have the crazy idea where they're like, we have one Turbo Man to sell. We're gonna throw a bunch of bouncy balls and cause a riot, and then the bouncy ball bounces away. Some kid puts it in his mouth. That's all at the Mall of America. There's also a lot of other better videos about it if you want to watch, like the Mary-Kate and Ashley Go to the Mall, I think is there. So.
We don't have malls here anymore.
The malls are kind of going away.
I never got all those Mary-Kate and Ashley videos they did back in the day. It was like, they have a sleepover, they have this.
Yeah, Mary-Kate and Ashley had it going on back then, man. They would go to SeaWorld. They'd go have a party. They would do movies. Mary-Kate and Ashley would do movies where it'd be like Sydney, Australia Adventure, and you'd be like, oh, so the city of Sydney, Australia paid for them to come here and shoot a movie.
Wow.
It's just like,
Quick sidebar.
Yes.
That Sister for Sale was about Elizabeth Olsen.
Well,
Oh yeah, they were trying to sell it. Yeah, the song "Sister for Sale." Yeah.
Sister for Sale. Yeah.
And she's the bigger one.
All right. I think one of them is married to a billionaire now, though.
Maybe.
I think Mary Kate is married to a billionaire. She's the one that's had the plastic surgery. All right. So the Mall of America is located on the site of the Metropolitan Stadium, where the Vikings and the Twins played until their new stadium opened in 1982. So there is a plaque there where the home plate was, which is pretty cool. You can walk over and see it, and then you kind of walk around and see where the bases would have been. And very famously, Harmon Killebrew hit the longest home run in that stadium, 1967, and it hit a seat inside the stadium, and so they have that seat. They preserved that seat and put it on the wall where it would be. So that's kind of cool. And that, you can see, by the way, is like the water track for, they have this water attraction there, like a kind of like Splash Mountain type attraction. So, Pastamania, grand opening. They advertised Hulk Hogan's quick serve pasta restaurant. I mean, there's a reason why there's not a lot of fast food pasta. People don't want quick serve pasta. But here's what we got. We got Hulk Hogan's favorite international pastas from around the world. I like they're double dipping on the international and then just saying around the world. They're like, you know, Hulkster's like, I think some of my fans, some of my little Hulksters don't know what international means. So let's put from around the world. You could mix and match to create your own pasta platter. They had a special menu for little pasta maniacs, and it's located next to Daddy's Deli. Oh yeah, gotta go to Daddy's Deli. You can get a free beverage with the purchase of your pasta platter, and I love the artwork here that was clearly drawn by somebody's child. So when it opened on June, yes, you have a question?
Did you notice the fat-free, low-free specials with the apostrophe where it doesn't belong?
Oh, specials, yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. Well, grammar was not the Hulkster's strong suit. Hulk Hogan's Pastamania. They had the grand opening challenge. Hulk Hogan against Macho Man Randy Savage, June 17th in the Rotunda from 12 to 3. Yes, indeed. They promoted this. It was the grand opening pasta challenge presented by Hulk Hogan's Pastamania. You can see it for free. Look, they even tell you Randy Savage is free, Hulk Hogan is free. Come see it on Saturday. And enter the Hulk Hogan look-alike contest and win great prizes. Look, if you look like Hulk Hogan, you've already won a prize. I mean, you've won the prize of life. It says here in the newspaper, what undoubtedly will be the weirdest food event of the week will take place at the early afternoon at the Mall of America. Hulk Hogan's new Pastamania restaurant in the mall. He will take on this you can tell is when it's written by people that, you know, are from the newspaper that don't care about wrestling, so they refer to him as a wrestler, and a fellow grunt and groaner in a pasta eating contest. Grunt and groaner. Boy, that's the most insulting thing. If anybody goes downstairs and gets an autograph from Jimmy Hart, ask him to write your favorite grunt and groaner, Jimmy Hart. The festivities will begin at noon, followed by the two guys having a gobbling fest. Like somebody was really like, where's my thesaurus? I'm going to make a really good article. After their last noodle, they'll sign autographs.
Gotta chomp it.
All right, I do have a little footage from the event, and then I'll tell you who won. Yeah, exactly. So I believe that's Eric Bischoff interviewing him. Here's Macho Man Randy Savage.
You got a date with Ric Flair. I'm sure you got a lot to talk about. I'll let you take the mic and tell me your story.
It might have been Johnny Caffarelli. I actually can't tell. By the way, notice in the background here the Suncoast video. If you look like in front of Macho Man, do you see it?
Yeah.
There's like you see the word coast? All right, so do you look at Macho Man, right? And then look at the gentleman that introduced him, right? So look at that guy's waistline and then just go slightly over from that and you see the word coast. Like right here, I'll zoom in. Like, oh, wait, not over there. Hold on. There we go. Look at that. Coast. Right? Pay attention to that spot. And you'll see the Suncoast. Look, Suncoast. I have fond memories of Suncoast.
Walking down the aisle here and I never seen so many Hulk Hogan's coming at me. I am really glad to be here at Mall of America. Hope you know Pastamania, Hulk Hogan's Pastamania, yeah. Tomorrow was
There's Jimmy Hart. You can see Jimmy Hart's there as well. And these two guys hated each other, by the way. Oh, they hated each other, yeah. You got jealous eyes, you're looking at Miss Elizabeth.
It's gotta be great for you. You spent a lot of time in Minneapolis.
That was the Hulkster's song from his album Hulk Hogan and the Big Boot Band, Hulk Hogan's wrestling album. This is the song The Hulkster's in the House. Check him out. Check him out.
Tremendous fans, I'm sure. Looking forward to seeing you here again. And this time you're coming into Open Restaurant. Tell us about that.
Well, you know something, brother. Hulk Hogan's been running wild for a long time around the Twin Cities. And usually when the Macho Man and Hulk Hogan come to the Twin Cities, we're here to wrestle people, tie them in knots, brother, and run around and entertain all of our Hulkamaniacs. But it is so crazy to see all the Pastamaniacs, brother.
I like Jimmy Hart's like, hi, no, not you, you. Yeah, no, not you. Hi.
Running around the Mall of America because what you gonna do, Pastamaniacs, when
I guess, yeah.
comes wild on you, brother?
It's a smart move.
Well, I understand you're gonna
All right, they're going to have their pasta contest. Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Hulk Hogan on the opening of the restaurant, by the way. Yeah, there is no footage. There's no known footage of the end of the contest. But yes, question in the back.
It clicked in the back of my brain that the first Monday Night Nitro was at the mall.
That's right, yes. So the first, and I'm actually going to show, I got a picture from that. Hang on, let me bring that up. So yeah, the first Nitro, they actually did it right in the center of the Mall of America. They did it right in like the big atrium. So when I went to the Mall of America, I was there with this guy Milo Beasley, who's a pro wrestler who does a lot of these shows, and I was like, we got to find the area. And we're walking around and we're like, it's right here. The ring was right here. It was right over here. The Lionel Train Company was over here. You know, Spencer's Gift was over here. We figured out exactly where it was. But yeah, this was it. I think Brian Pillman broke his neck at this, but this was Labor Day 1995, first Nitro in the mall, and as part of the Nitro, they went to the Pastamania, and it was just mobbed with people. Again, you saw that it was like smaller than this table, so it was mobbed with people standing there, and Hulk Hogan in a second. Let me go to that now, and I'll show you the menu. So just so you know what you're dealing with here. So this is the Pastamania menu. What'd you say?
There's a pasta that's called nuggets.
Let's see. So I think I don't know what you're looking at. Yeah, probably with some kind of like nuggets in it. Yeah, nuggets,
like
chicken or
gnocchi,
something.
And they didn't want to call it gnocchi. They call it nuggets.
Yeah, I guess that might be it. Yeah, it might be the type of pasta. So yeah, there you go. There are. He also has his Hulk-A-Roos and cheese. The little kid's pasta was the Hulk-A-Roos, the beef stroganoff, international pasta from around the world, turkey tetrazzini. You could add your chicken or meatballs. You get your Hulk-A-Roos. Here's what the Hulk-A-Roos look like.
Nice. Mm-hmm. So basically, it's Chef Boyardee.
Yeah. These. Now they had the other dishes, which were more the adult dishes. But all right. So now Hulk Hogan. Here he is when he married Dolly Parton. That's him and Dolly Parton. They got married on a TV special once. No. Dolly Parton sang a song all about Hulk Hogan and married him. But at the time when Pastamania happened, Hulk Hogan was actually married to Linda Hogan. I was going to say Linda McMahon, which would have been very strange. Linda Hogan, and Hulk Hogan had some trouble. So the promotions manager served Hogan with papers saying that he assaulted her in his hotel room right after that first Nitro show. Hogan was served papers on Christmas Eve. She said that she carried merch to his room and he assaulted her. He went on to countersue her. Here is the McDonald's that replaced it. So it became a McDonald's. It served Pepsi. Unlike every other McDonald's, because there was an agreement between Pepsi and the food court, so this was an unusual McDonald's. Wow. If you look here, let's see where there is a sign here that says "The food loves Pepsi." See it over here? So yeah, food loves Pepsi, and so that's what happened when Hulk Hogan's Pastamania closed. But McDonald's also couldn't survive in the spot, so they closed down in 2015. So don't blame Hulk Hogan for not being able to make Hulk-A-Roos work. Even McDonald's couldn't survive there.
You should have put a Chick-fil-A.
It actually is a Popeyes now. So when I went there, it was Popeyes. Here is a Little Caesars commercial with WCW wrestlers.
We're back to WCW Goldberg's in trouble. Bing to the front.
Mangus killing Goldberg.
The Goldberg rebounds with a headbutt.
you order 2 medium pizzas for just $9.99.
I like that they didn't realize there was pizza in the ring until just then. There you go. Hulk Hogan tells a story. I don't believe it, but I'll tell it to you. Hulk Hogan had this Thunder mixer, and you could buy it and put your protein in it, and it would, swirl around. Do the same thing as if you just took it and just went like this. Probably would be easier, but it would have this little blade and swirl around, and ran on batteries. And it was this Thunder mixer, and he claims that on the day that that he got this Thunder mixer, his agent had called him and said, "Hey, I've got these 2 products for you to look at. We've got a grill and we've got a Thunder mixer. And so I'm going to call you. They want somebody, and they're looking for a recognizable tough guy to sell it. So I've got this mixer and I've got this grill." And so the grill went on to George Foreman, called back first, and George Foreman took the grill, which was the George Foreman grill, and George Foreman made a fortune on it. Hogan says, "I got the Thunder mixer, but if I had gotten that grill, I'd be rich." I don't think people wanted a Hulk Hogan grill. I think people wanted a George Foreman grill. Hogan tried other food ventures over the years. He made the Hulkster cheeseburger, which you could get in your freezer case at Walmart. It was a microwavable cheeseburger. Look at Hogan. He's flexing. He's got his burger too. Now, if you're like, "Hey, I don't like cheeseburgers," he had the Hulkster chicken sandwich. He put out an energy drink. You want energy, brother? Now you've got it. It's a very direct, straightforward. What's that?
Powered by Sacco Energy.
Powered by Sacco Energy. I don't know Sacco Energy. I bet they were just some, like in the early days, in the Wild West days of energy drinks before, like Monster and, all the few big ones, Bang, became the torch bearers. I think it was just, nobody knew. Everybody was just like, "I'll make one."
Do you think they reached out
to Mick Foley for Sacco? Yeah. Hulk Hogan did try the grill thing eventually, and he made the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Grill. You could get these for 3 easy payments of $33. It's a grill that looks like it's worth about $30, and you could pay 3 times that. These grills were eventually recalled because they were a fire hazard. They would actually burst into flames. Hulk Hogan opened a restaurant called Hogan's Beach. It was open from 2013 to 2015. I don't know if he's reopened it or anything. He did have some trouble where they had this dress code that people felt was racist because it very specifically, they felt had items that like do-rags and things that you weren't supposed to wear, not excessive jewelry, which is crazy for a guy that's friends with Mr. T, that he would put on his restaurant sign that no excessive jewelry. But anyway, look at this. No workout clothes, including tracksuits, jumpsuits. Was Hogan not allowed to come in? Hogan would show up and be like, "Hold on, let me put on that tuxedo I got when I married Dolly Parton."
No camouflage.
Yeah, it's very weird, right? It was a very strange.
No high tops.
Yeah, right? I mean, it was a very strange dress code. I don't know why he did it, and I don't know what the deal was with it.
Was it on a beach?
Yeah, it's on a beach. Yeah, here, take a look. Yeah, there it is.
I guess no bathing suits.
Yeah, but that was it. I mean, I don't know. I have no defense for it. I wasn't there. But that is it. And then here is another one. Pastamania. I got a little bit more to tell you on, but I want to talk about the Nitro Grill. This opened in 1999 at the Excalibur Hotel and Casino, and professional wrestlers would frequent the restaurant every time they were touring through. So if they were doing a show in the area, they would be like, "Oh, Diamond Dallas Page is going to be here tonight." You could eat at the Nitro Grill. It closed down in September of 2000. There's the hotel it was in. They did like an opening special where they were all there, and every wrestler was like excited that their name was on the menu, and then they all tried to insult each other by saying what somebody else's dish should be. Like Kevin Nash was like, "Oh, I've got the Kevin Nash burger. I bet Sting has a lima bean dish." That was his stunning insult. I never got to go there, but I did get to go to the WWF New York restaurant, which was right in the middle of Times Square in the old Paramount building. It was open from 1999 to 2003. It was very successful at first, and I kind of think that was their goal. I feel like a lot of times with these licensed themed restaurants, kind of the idea is let's get it out there, make a lot of money with it up front, and then if we're lucky, it'll become a place people want to revisit. But generally, nobody wants to go to these things over and over. The food's not usually that good. They're usually loud. They're just kind of a fun thing to check out once, you know. And so this one, what's that?
Like Hard Rock Cafe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea. That one's been very successful, but yeah, it's the general idea. And so this place was open for like 3.5 years. They changed the name halfway through. They were really trying to re-theme it and even take a lot of the wrestling stuff out of it. They had Chris Angel, I think it was, like in a water tank inside the restaurant for like 24 hours or whatever. Like going to the bathroom in a water tank while people are trying to eat, you know, the Rock hamburgers nearby. All right, here.
2002 was very overpriced.
Yeah, I mean it was.
$20 for a soda in 2002.
Yeah, it was overpriced. I actually have one of the original menus from it, which was like, it was a big padded menu. It was like this big. Yeah, it was. I mean, you would go in. They had like, you could put your handprints in Andre the Giant and the Big Show's handprints, and the food was, you know, I mean, it was like TGI Fridays or whatever. It wasn't bad, but it was, you know, wasn't anything special, and it was super overpriced. Then they had a merchandise store. When they went out of business, I went back and went to the merchandise store because they kept that open for like another 6 months or whatever as the restaurant was being redone for the new tenants. And the store was great because you could go in there and get like 75% off your Mick Foley toothbrush, which I bought. And you could get like glassware that said WWF New York and stuff. And that kind of stuff is fun to have because, you know, it's not there anymore. Abdullah the Butcher had a restaurant. I don't know if it's still there. I know at one point he closed it and reopened it. But he had a restaurant called Abdullah the Butcher's House of Ribs and Chinese Food. Abdullah the Butcher, here he is right on the sign, just carving this man to death, just killing someone. It said, World Brass Knuckle Champion. World Brass Knuckle Champion, Abdullah the Butcher. Here he is. Here's a commercial for it. This commercial is crazy. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Nope. Hold on, that's not him. This one. There's a lead in, just wait for it.
No! Abdullah Butcher's House of Ribs and Chinese Food! Come see Sister Terry and Abdullah Butcher at Abdullah Butcher's House of Ribs and Chinese Food in Atlanta.
No asterisk that says that we do not serve.
What the heck?
No asterisk?
No asterisk about what?
That no humans
They don't
are
serve
actually
human
served?
meat? Yeah, that would... maybe that's the... No, maybe you don't say that because that's the clientele you're looking for. Yes.
So, on a girls' trip, I forced my friends to go to
Oh.
Abdullah the Butcher's
All
House of
right.
Ribs and Chinese Food. I was all and yeah. So we get there. My friends were like, "What the fuck do you have us do out here in the middle of nowhere, Atlanta, at this rundown place?"
Yep.
And he wasn't even there.
No, yeah, I got to go there when he was there one day, but yeah, he wasn't always there. And Abdullah, they recently had a documentary about him where he claims that he is illiterate and has never learned how to read and write because he's being sued for something. And so he's saying that he got letters about a medical issue and he did not read them because he cannot read. Somehow he ran a rib joint. I believe there was some...
There's a lot of reading.
I think he knew something. All right, so we're going to talk about Mean Gene Okerlund's Burgers, and then we're going to get to the fate of the Pastamania Arch, which I know you're very excited to hear about.
Hey gang, you know me as a stand-up guy who never backs down from a tough interview. Well, now I'm going toe-to-toe with the big burger boys with my Mean Gene Burgers. And this is your chance to order a Mean Gene t-shirt. Mean Gene's Burgers.
The burger that says, "Bite me."
Where to work to a party.
See, this is where they also serve human meat there. The burger would say, "Bite me."
And order yours now.
Call now to order your Mean Gene's t-shirt for just $19.95 plus shipping and handling.
Mean Gene Okerlund. What I liked about, I'll get to you in just 1 second. What I liked about Mean Gene's restaurant was, so it was a franchise. You could have it in a bunch of different places, a lot of college campuses, food courts, things like that. They had on their menu like a small fries and then mean size fries. They were like everything. The large was called mean size. Yes.
I was stationed in the Navy on this little island in the Indian Ocean. I'm sure you've never heard of, called Diego Garcia.
Okay.
The only way you're on this island is if you're in the military. We had one fast food restaurant on the island, and it was a Mean Gene.
Yes, it was. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So
it's just below the equator. If you go to the southern tip of India, just below the equator, this little island chain. There's a very small Navy base there.
And
that
you,
was the fast food restaurant.
And you were in the Navy?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service, first of all. Yeah. So I assume you had to eat there then.
About one, yeah. I pretty much walked over there like every other Saturday. I mean, it was only because you go to get a real thick cheeseburger.
How was it?
It was decent.
It was decent, right?
Yeah.
I love that.
To order there because it was only 250 of us.
That's so interesting that it would be the restaurant there. Well, I guess it's a cheap franchise to get, I guess. Their menu seemed crazy. I have one of their menus, and it's one of those ones where it's like they have so much stuff. Like you get a pizza on the menu I have, you get chicken sandwiches, you get nuggets, you get, I mean, it's like they had too many things, like their drink choices. It was like 15 different drink choices. It's just, I think they were going a little far. They had multiple different desserts on the menu. I saw it at brownies and cookies. They had the big cookie, which I was like, that should be the mean cookie. But all right. So here's this weird saga of this Pastamania awning. So around the year 2008, 12 years after Pastamania closed, the awning was spotted on a deserted concrete building near Cedar and 4th Street in Minneapolis. It was just hanging on the side of this building. Pastamania had never been there, right? The awning had somehow been moved from the mall all the way over here. No one knows who did this. And it hung there for years. Bloggers would go by and take pictures of it. People with Flickr accounts would go by and take a photo of the weird Pastamania awning. And online, people would write, oh, there was the second Pastamania was here. So I researched this. There was never a Pastamania in this building, ever. So I don't know how the people involved in this building had this awning. I don't know why they put it there. There's no window there. So it's just hanging on the side of this building. So in 2009, about a year later, it fell off the building. And then someone cut the fabric off and stole it. Yes, 2 minutes? All right. Somebody cut the fabric off, and then you can see the remains of it just piled up there on the left-hand side of the screen. Very sad. All right, Hulk Hogan, let's have a positive ending. Let's end with Hulk Hogan making a pizza. All right, does anybody have a comment or question? Thank God. Well, my name is Guy Hutchinson. I appreciate chatting with you guys. I have a table in the area with the green curtains. I am across from the cowboy from the Village People. So if you come over and see me, I have free stickers for all of you. So please stop by. I love you all. Have a great rest of the day.